Greetings, you Bramblefort Finks. I hope you're doing well. This is the Crack a Pack on LRRMTG, and my name is Graham. Today, we are opening a pack of Throne of Eldraine, but not just any pack, even though it looks very similar to a regular booster, back when they looked more like regular boosters. This is, in fact, a collector booster, one of the earliest iterations of collector booster. This was given to us by Andrew and Amanda, or Thanatos and Merriman Lion, in chat at PAX East 2020. We thank you very much for that. Now, you may have noticed, you may have picked up on this subtlety, that the card name I use at the beginning of the episode is a creature from the set that I'm opening that day. And went to go looking for one this today and came across Bramblefort Fink. Never heard of or seen that card before, ever. It's number 311 in a set of 269 cards. Don't know where you're supposed to find it. I assume themed boosters, maybe collector boosters. It's a card that exists. Where? Who knows? But let's see what's in the collector boosters. It's easier to get into than current collector boosters. Also, this is before they sort of really settle on a formula for collector boosters, I think. So, I don't know, let's find out what's in here. All cards are regular foil unless otherwise noted. Barrow Witches is first. It's 4 and a black for a 3/4 human warlock because they don't have witch as a subtype. And they're clearly not going to add it now because if they didn't add it for this set, they're not going to. They're like, we have warlocks, we're just going to leave it at that. When Barrow Witches enters the battlefield, return target knight card from your graveyard to your hand. In limited, I recall Barrow Witches being actually quite playable because in black you had a lot of knights and they would die a lot, and so you get them back with your Barrow Witches, who themselves were a 3/4, and perfectly fine. Good stuff. Wolf's Quarry. It's the 3 little pigs. 4 green for a sorcery. Create 3 1/1 green boar creature tokens with, when this creature dies, create a food token. Rip those pigs. They're adorable, but they're also delicious, as it turns out. Knight of the Keep, 2 and a white for a 3/2 human knight. And that's it. Though I do want to say, for being the sort of traditional foil, these do have a bit more care than I see in some more recent sets with traditional foil about how the foiling layer is applied. I don't know that you can really tell this on camera, but this knight's face and a bunch of details of the background are not reflective, but their eyes and armor are, which is very cool. Same the Wolf's Quarry. The pigs themselves, their fur is not foiled, but the background and their eyes are foiled. And as I appreciate that attention to detail. Holy moly, I have never seen this particular art. It's Reaper of Night, but it's the storybook frame, and it's really cool looking. So it's 5 black for a 4/5 Spectre, and whenever it attacks, if the depending player has 2 or fewer cards in hand, the Reaper, gains flying until end of turn, which is already very cool. And then it has an adventure called Harvest Fear, which you may remember what it does, but I bet you didn't remember the name, most of you. It's a sorcery. Target opponent discards 2 cards. Good stuff. And yeah, the showcase frame art by Elena Richards is super cool looking. There's too many skulls. Dwarven Mine is next. It's a mountain, so it taps for red. Dwarven Mine enters the battlefield tapped unless you control 3 or more other mountains, and when it enters untapped, you make a 1/1 red dwarf creature token. So this is in the cycle of the Gingerbread Cabin and the Witch's Cottage, and this one was not the most powerful. But it was fine. I do appreciate that tapping for red is just an inherent part of how mountains work. I've talked about this before, I know, but it means that the tap to add red is on the reminder text. It's in little parentheticals, italicized, because it's not actually part of the rules text. It's just, because it's land mountain, it just does that, but they don't want you to forget, so they have that on there. Witching Well, and I witch you well too, is a single blue mana for an artifact, and when it enters the battlefield, scry 2. And for 3 and a blue, you can sacrifice it to draw 2 cards. And the relevancy of that is that this is an instant speed way to draw 2 cards on your opponent's turn for all the red-blue cards that care about drawing 2 cards in a single turn. And You can date yourself with a Terrence Trent D'Arby reference. Keeper of Fables is next. 3 green for a 4/5 cat, which I think is sort of underselling the majesty of this creature. Whenever one or more non-human creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, draw a card. This card's very good. I recall doing a lot of fun stuff with this one because it's 4/5 for 5. Play it, hit with something else, you get to draw a card. Yeah, Keeper of Fables does good stuff. Wintermoor Commander is white-black for a 2-star human knight with Death Touch. Wintermoor Commander's toughness is equal to the number of knights you control. So at worst, it's a 2/1, if this is your only knight. At worst. Again, the foiling is just really cool looking. The horse and the rider's face are not foil, but all the armor is. It's really cool looking. There's more text though. Sorry, I was distracted by how cool it looked. Whenever Wintermoor Commander attacks, another knight you control gains indestructible until end of turn. So this one's got Death Touch, so it sucks to block, and the other one's got indestructible, so it sucks to block, and they're both coming at you. And if one of them dies, I'll just get my Barrow Witches and bring it right back. Yeah. Enchanted Carriage. Ahaha, it's midnight, etc. 5 mana for a vehicle. When Enchanted Carriage enters the battlefield, you create 2 1/1 white mouse creature tokens. Very good stuff. It's a 4/4 vehicle and it crews for 2, so both those mice can drive it. Yeah. Good references. We love those. A non-foil, but showcase frame, Shepherd of the Flock. 1 and a white for a 3/1. That's it. But it has an adventure, Usher to Safety. Would not have been able to name that no matter how much money you gave me. It's an instant, and you return target permanent you control to its owner's hand. So you can save one of your own things, and then you get this 3/1 afterwards. So, sure. So non-foil showcase Shepherd of the Flock. Oh, interesting. It's a non-foil showcase Reaper of Night. So it's the thing we already saw, but this one's not in foil. So, okay. That's cool. Oh, this is gorgeous. Oh, this is the Elena Danner art showcase variant, Lonesome Unicorn. 4 and a white for a 3/3 unicorn with vigilance, and with the adventure Rider in Need. As a sorcery for 2 and a white, you make a 2/2 white knight creature token with vigilance. So yeah, a 3/3 and a 2/2, both with vigilance. Big fan of Lonesome Unicorn. Heyo! All right. Attention Commander players. Corvold, Fey Cursed King. 2 black, red, green for a 4/4 dragon noble with flying. Corvold reads, whenever he enters the battlefield or attacks, sacrifice another permanent. Whenever you sacrifice a permanent, put a +1/+1 counter on Corvold and draw a card. And draw a card. I forgot about how good Corvold is. Because it doesn't have to just be his sacrifice trigger. It can be anything else. You play Corvold and eat a food, and suddenly Corvold's bigger and you're drawing a card. Crack a clue, and you draw 2 cards. Corvold's very cool. Non-foil for Corvold. Ooh, the Circle of Loyalty. Sort of like the Round Table, kind of, analog to an extent. This is a non-foil extended width art. 4 white for a legendary artifact. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each knight you control, and creatures you control get +1/+1. Whenever you cast a legendary spell, create a 2/2 white knight creature token with vigilance. And for 3 and a white and tap, create a 2/2 white knight creature token with vigilance. So you can just sit there, activating this every turn to make another knight. Also, there'll be 3/3s with vigilance, because this is also an anthem, but also if you cast a legendary spell, you just get a free knight. Circle of Loyalty's kind of messed up. And finally, beyond our giant/food token, we have a regular foil giant killer. Single white mana for a 1/2 human peasant with 1 and a white and tap to tap target creature. And the adventure Chop Down, 2 and a white for an instant, destroy target creature with power 4 or greater. Jack topples the beanstalk, whether you like it or not. Fairly buttoned down for a collector booster. They have gotten sillier since... Oh, I shouldn't be looking at the date, and it's just going to make me feel bad. Oh, 2019. Okay, that's not so bad. That was just last year. The pack is 1998, which is pretty good. Just barely under $20. Corvault is like $12 of that, but that means that, you know, there's a couple others in here that are $1 or so. So, hey, not bad for a several years old Eldraine collector booster. Corvault still pulling his weight. 3 colors though, so, you know, in the mythical world I love to inhabit where I'm drafting these, I don't know that I'm first picking Corvault. It might be the Circle of Loyalty, but regardless, it's good stuff. I want to say thanks again to Andrew and Amanda, Thanatos and Merriman Lion, for giving us this pack 4 years ago. I've had fun opening it today. And I have been Graham, and James has been on tech, and Matt edits these, and Jordan assists, and Heather gets them online, and you all, most importantly, watch. That's the most important part. But some of you also are able to support us directly at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun, or by becoming a member on this very channel. You click join. That's how you do that. That's going to do it for this episode of the Crack-A-Pack. Thanks everybody for watching. I'll talk to you next time. Bye.